The livest one, like I'm from Bedford-Stuyvesant, one of the realest. Straight from Nav, straight from Phillips. We haven't been live in a while. Live again tonight. Unfortunately, of course, the marquee. Of course, the marquee is obviously, we're talking tonight, Charlie Kirk. Unfortunately, we've been trying to keep this live positive and friendly. At the same time, we don't want to just trendy. So a lot of people seems to be out tonight. I know it's like New York City a little bit up here. I can't even lie. It gives you a New York City vibe tonight. A whole bunch of people are out tonight. Unfortunately, that marquee had to go live, and we're talking about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, being an individual, the social media light, unfortunately passed away and was shot and killed. We'll be live for a little while, so hopefully people tune in. Obviously, some of this background music is coming from vehicles. We're gonna keep it moving just in case of copyright infringement. With Charlie Kirk, we want to think that that individual was actually a positive person, a positive thinker. I don't think white supremacists look like that, talk like that, walk like that. They don't discuss the real issues, and I really do believe that he tried his best to discuss the real issues. A lot of nice cars out here tonight. We're just doing a reaction, obviously, of Charlie Kirk's passing. The concert is going on downtown. So hopefully everybody's enjoying themselves on this Saturday night. Be live for a little while. The livest one, like I'm from Bedford-Stuyvesant, one of the realest. Straight from the Ave, straight from Phillips. It's the photography plug. A lot of people out tonight. Obviously, nice Saturday night. Concerts going on, festivals going on. So we're downtown. Let us know where you at, what country you're in. This is a photography plug. We haven't been live for a while. This is usually our block right here. We're usually standing out here. Got a nice little feed, not too many. Go to the rails. To build that back up, guys. That traffic, sometimes when we go to LA and different places like that, the traffic really builds up. We're talking about that internet traffic, that very important social media traffic. A lot of nice classic cars out here tonight. I like having a classic show. A lot of nice classic cars out here tonight. It's like a classic show. Reminds me, we're talking about Charlie Kirk. We could be talking about John F. Kennedy, President of the United States of America, that suffered that same type of death, unfortunately. Very sad death. Charlie Kirk passing away, being shot. Unfortunately, freedom of speech can get you in a lot of trouble, apparently. Obviously, a terrible video. Charlie Kirk passes away. This is the photography plug. Concert night tonight, so we just record and see what's going on. A lot of nice vehicles out here, obviously. That's a nice stitching to that. With Charlie Kirk passing away, at the age of 31 years old. He was going to be a candidate for president of the United States of America, is what a lot of people are saying that Charlie Kirk was going to become. Obviously, he's a Republican, very close to Mr. Donald Trump. Uh, Obviously, it's a shock to the campaign, and everything Donald Trump did plan, it fell apart because, he was going to try to do the illegal immigration reform against the black community, and obviously, our great American president would never live down that gruesome death of Charlie Kirk, unfortunately. Nobody in history. I like to say Donald Trump is probably the first black president because he's the first president in recent years that got popped, and his partner got popped also. So, yes, very sad news out of Utah. I know I haven't talked to you guys in a while, and I apologize. It does take a lot of energy to go live and to continue to be live a lot. It takes a lot of energy, so you have to think about that, the energy that it takes to stay away from these offices just because of the type of technology that they possibly could have. But I hear the music somewhere close by. I want to say it must be down this way, but some nice views out here. And I like to say I am in my hometown. I represent my hometown. But unfortunately, like I said before, terrible news that marquee doesn't lie. Charlie Kirk passes away. Now, coming up in this city means a lot. It means so much. I can remember riding these streets as a kid, just riding my bike. So we'll stay live as long as we can here on this Saturday night. Hope everybody's out and enjoying themselves. Nice concert out here tonight. A lot of people seems like. See how close we can get without having any type of interruption with the live feed, obviously. So welcome to the Photography Plug. Haven't been live. And that's how we get a lot of our subscribers. You can always go to $ at Photography Plug, Cash App. Support like all these businesses, very important for our city to continue these events. We really appreciate it. All this, so many different cities, but this city is a very special one to me. Shout out to OGB Cooler. See everybody's out here, nice city vibes, man. It's a wonderful. I just already had a beer, funnel cake. So trying to see who's on stage. We'll see. Excuse me. Still got a good connection, although it's a lot of people out here, so let's try to stay live. The livest one, like I'm for Bedford Stuyvesant, one of the realest. Straight from the ass, straight from Phillips. Shouts out to my homeboy OGB Cooler. He just opened up a store out there on English Street. So we'll be doing some stuff out there on English Street. And this is home for me. Let us know what you think about that reaction of Charlie Kirk passing away. I think I'm gonna get something else to eat. I'm already full. The livest one, like I'm from Bedford-Stuyvesant, one of the realest. Straight from the Ave, straight from Phillips. It's good to see I'm only one of the few people that's live out here. I guess in the near future, I'm sure. It'll be so many more. A lot of people enjoying their food. But you can imagine what the President of the United States of America is thinking tonight. I had it, seeing that video of Charlie really made me, had to kind of lose some sleep. I mean, who's seen those videos? And obviously the Ukrainian woman that passed away, unfortunately, to the guy that was homeless, and he struck her a few times and she died right there, and they're trying to use that as propaganda. Propaganda, obviously, against to make the black community look disdained and disdained upon, and that's Donald Trump's his ideal to try, but it didn't work because Charlie ended up getting killed by his own kind. And how are you going to talk about black community and you got a guy that is bleeding from the neck on TV in front of thousands and thousands of hundreds of thousands of people? Sort of makes it, in a sense, and a terrible crime. Many events probably similar to this, I think Charlie would have been a part of, where a lot of people talked it out. I see him talk about different issues, but I never personally, and I'm always talking about the comments and so many important comments, but I seen him talking about different issues and those very different issues of black community, and maybe not in the positive light that we'd like to see it in, but he still discussed those issues. So I do believe that he was a good guy in the end, because he's the guy that's willing to discuss tough topics. The answer can't be your own answer, and his opinion might have not been the opinion that was agreed upon by many, and many people did agree with his ideals. I think Charlie was just a good guy that ended up in a situation that he didn't understand the type of danger that this gentleman was in. Obviously, the Federal Bureau of Investigations have been far behind because there was a lot of chit-chat that was going to happen behind closed doors. Many people were talking about Charlie. Something was going to happen. Also, recent events, more chitter-chatter about things that could happen in, obviously, New York City. So that is just a reality. Of the life, and this is pretty cool. A nice, I never seen this. This is just awesome. This is like, I kind of wish I wasn't live, because this type of reel, just by itself, I think would just sell so much, especially on platforms like YouTube, TikTok. I mean, the guys out here really making the most of it. And the reason why we're talking Charlie tonight is because we think that these type of events, is some type of events close to college campuses, that he will be kind of linked to, I would say, because of, Charlie was a young guy. He was only 31 years old. And I thought, I seen a lot of his videos, And obviously I didn't know who he was until his passing, but I seen a lot of his videos, and they really did touch my heart in the sense of freedom of speech. That freedom of speech is very important. I'm sure he was still monitorized because, the color of his skin. But in the end, it didn't work out good for Charlie. So rest in peace to that great American citizen, Charlie. And we had a pleasure tonight to be here watching a guy just rock it out in a Volkswagen van, United States of America. Somebody just commented that they saw what happened to Charlie, and yes, that's very tragic. It's never been on video a horrific death, unfortunately, like that, except for John F. Kennedy. But and also rest in peace to our great American president, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all the people that served this country. But of course, very sad news, and that reaction of Charlie passes away shocked the world. When I first seen it, I said, I wonder how he died, thinking it might have been a health issue. Then obviously social media just ripped this guy apart, talking negative about him and his family. And unfortunately, Charlie was killed, shot and killed. And Donald Trump was informed and seen the video as our elderly president, a 34-time convicted president, our great American president, shows and proves he's doing well running the country, but he did indeed get shot, and his close friend got shot. So unfortunately, it doesn't look good for Donald Trump and his administration at the point. I don't think he's going to be able to live that down. I mean, how in the world he's going to point to the black community when his own partner got shot, and the blood was so graphic that it was basically almost went across the street. I mean, nobody in the history of the world has seen so much of a horrific death as in Charlie passing away and dying and exploding from the inside. That jolt hit him so hard, it was a fact of the matter that Charlie wasn't going to get too far after that. That is very sad, and unfortunately, he's passed away, guys. So this is a tribute. This is Photography Plugs tribute to Charlie and all the people that represent freedom of speech. And very important. Freedom of speech is so very important. I think he had a lot of good points. Had a lot of very good points that was very. They were very. It was very controversial. The gentleman was very controversial, and Charlie unfortunately passed away, being shot in the neck from a long distance rifle. Charlie was shot in the neck. These are the type of events, the type of music that Charlie probably liked. Our dedication to Charlie is here, and it's now. A great American citizen, served us well, talking about issues that were so very important. Somebody agreed and said, rest in peace, Charlie, rest in peace, that great American citizen that represented our country so very well. Oh, Charlie. He tackled those issues we didn't want to talk about. He always talked about those things that we didn't want to agree upon. He even said Beyonce couldn't sing. Oh, Charlie. Oh, Charlie represented that horrific death was a terrible tragedy in American history, like our great American president, John F. Kennedy. Still a tragedy that our great American president was shot. Another tragedy after tragedy. Guys, rest in peace to Charlie. That's so cool. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on, gentlemen. We're moving on. And as we see T-Mobile also, shouts out to T-Mobile. They seem to keep me connected. Verizon also, but T-Mobile is a very special company because them and Apple, Mr. Mark Cuban, so many great American citizens. I'd like to shout out our great American president, Donald Trump. He's had a tough week with old Charlie being assassinated. He's trying to hurt the black community, but unfortunately it just won't work, Mr. Trump. You're a great American president. We owe you that respect, but we won't fall for you trying to pin the black community. You never said anything positive about Barack Obama. You never talked positive about the black neighborhood. And there's not many statistics that point towards a great American president saying positive things about the black community. Obviously, Charlie talked about these things and he disrespected the black community, but we didn't disrespect Charlie, because if we do, then YouTube says, well, if you talk bad about him, they're mad. So we won't talk bad about Charlie. He was a good American citizen. We won't say anything negative about our president, but we did think that we was living in a free country and we thought we had the Constitution of the United States of America. Even as companies tried to take money away from black America, unfortunately, white America is shot down in the middle of the street for what they have to say. This is true fact. And I know it's tough topics like Charlie, but if God's with us tonight, we won't be shot like Charlie. We're on the side that's actually trying to make difference, and that is both sides of this great American country. So welcome back. I haven't been live in a while. I know a lot of those 21-year-old social media lives have been live. They've been all over your feed. But you actually have an intelligent person here tonight that is talking about a very important person that passed away, unfortunately, and was shot in the neck, Mr. Charlie. We won't say anything bad about him, but he was able to do things on platforms and get paid for it that black people can't. If we was that controversial as Charlie, my friends, our monetization would be still on. So I think when people think they can punish you by taking away the money, they really can't, because they don't know how much allocation of money you have. I think Charlie tackled that American citizenship very well by talking about all of those tough issues that meant so much to America. It meant so much to America. Charlie really did. He talked about black people in ways we never heard a white person able to, and still being paid for it. And we talked about the gentleman that unfortunately shot the other gentleman, CEO in New York City, and we were punished. Charlie talked about many people, and he wasn't punished until he was shot. It's a country that we all must say is, if one company is not fair, then American people try to make it fair for so many other people. The great American citizenship of Charlie showed and proved that Donald Trump, even as a convicted felon, ran the country smoothly, even being convicted the day of his inauguration. We can all remember that. Our great American citizenship proves that Charlie wasn't afraid to speak his mind, and he wasn't afraid to tackle the issues that many of us are. So I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. I greatly appreciate all the Charlie supporters and the people that have the freedom of speech if we're able to say we just didn't agree with what he had to say. Now, the people that's still gracious enough to be breathing and not shot in the neck like Charlie was, that's just a reality of how far you're going to take it in a debate. I talked to my own son. I said, son, you want to leave a debate with your life. Sometimes you have to know how to lose and walk away with your life. Sometimes the greatest master, karate, master, boxer, heavyweight champ of the world, I might not be using the right words, but sometimes the greatest fighters of all time lose to somebody they can beat just to keep their sanity and keep their life. Some of the greatest fighters in the world, like Muhammad Ali, were beaten brutally in the ring to show America's pain. But Charlie did it in a different way, because Charlie was one of those individuals that fought an intelligent battle. That intelligent battle that we all are sort of afraid of. The intelligence of my philosophy. You want to have an intelligent conversation, we can have an intelligent conversation, all right. They took it to the next level. And that makes America a very violent country. And they won't be talking about gun control when you have a rifle that you shot so far. That rifle, and I do see all of your comments. Your comments mean so much here at Photography Plug. We really care about, this is not the Rock Nation. We like Jay-Z or Rock Nation, but if you're going to try to contact Jay-Z and Beyonce tonight, they're going to be a little bit busy. I apologize. They're not going to answer your calls. In 10 years, they won't answer your calls. In 20 years, they won't answer your calls. They'll never answer you. But here at Photography Plug, we'll make sure that we answer your comments. We care about what you say. This crime could have been prevented. Just like the crime on the train that Donald Trump's administration allowed that Ukrainian refugee to be on that train with a 14-time convicted felon. They allowed that to happen, and then they turn around and blame a homeless person that was all of a sudden woken up by a white woman that didn't mean any harm. A very sad situation in Charlotte, North Carolina, but even more pathetic for our President of the United States of America to try his best to try to pin Americans against each other, to try to diminish the power of an American citizen, and to try to disdain the black neighborhood. It was a failure because Charlie was shot in the neck by a white man in Utah. Charlie was shot in the neck by a white man in Utah. So how can you talk about Chicago when all over the news, all over the world, one of the worst deaths ever recorded in world history happened last week? One of the worst deaths in American history happened last week. So our great American president came forward trying to show those two pictures, saying, look at the black man and look at trying to upset the black community. And then Charlie was shot, and all of a sudden his plans had become a failure. Donald Trump's administration proves to be so violent that our great American president was already shot, and now his best friend is dead, unfortunately. These are tough topics that Charlie talked about. These are things that Charlie, but never did he think in a million years it was an individual saying, you say the wrong thing, and guess what, Charlie? It's the end of you. If you say the wrong thing, there's a sniper somewhere waiting for you. It's tonight, right now, we can agree at any event, there's probably a sniper on the roof somewhere. If there was a sniper on the roof somewhere, where would he be aiming? So Americans are paranoid, but Donald Trump wanted to make America Donald Trump wanted to make America turn against each other, and we just did not go for it. The same breath as his idea of allowing, Donald Trump allowed it to happen, my friends. So I greatly appreciate all the support. I greatly appreciate everybody supporting Photography Plug. We'll be reading some of these comments, these very important comments. So many people all over the world, South Africa, United Kingdom. Shouts out to United Kingdom, South Africa. This is our second two most viewed places in South Africa, United Kingdom. Shouts out to Tyler. I have a lot of her fans on my page, Photography Plug at IG. So greatly appreciate everybody's support. Somebody just commented Donald Trump didn't allow it. Understand exactly what I said. Donald Trump allowed that felon to be on that train that is recorded 24 hours a day. 14 felonies. A Ukrainian refugee comes on, and Donald Trump and our great American president purposely puts black face against a white Ukrainian. Now remember, the Ukrainians got over $1 billion. You remember that? American citizens got none of that money. So now, not only did American citizens didn't get any money, now when a black man rides a train, Donald Trump expects us to get searched because of a Ukrainian and a homeless issue. It is not going to happen in America, and it's not going to happen on my watch. It's not going to happen in America. It's not going to happen on my watch. Truly because of one of few things. Because his friend was shot in the neck and was killed, and his whole agenda changed. The Federal Bureau of Investigations should have known about what was going to happen, because as you read the documents, you can see in the details that something was going to happen. But the Federal Bureau fumbled the ball. At the same time, a sniper was on the roof ready to shoot and kill Charlie Kirk. Everybody knew about it. Everybody knew except the Federal Bureau of Investigations. The Democrats knew about what was going on. It's no secret. It was no secret about what was going to happen. But you can't get the information for a penny. So the Federal Bureau of Investigations dropped the ball on Charlie Kirk's death. And even the city officials of Utah said, we wish it was somebody outside of our community and not our own. And at the same time, they're turning the person that shot Charlie into a hero. They're turning him into some type of martyr. Now I'm talking about the United States of America is doing this. In other words, if it was a black man, oh man, he would have been the worst person in the world. But because he's a white person, he's an intelligent person. He shot from long range. The rifle that was used will probably be in some museum. His Challenger, that gray Challenger, will probably be in some museum. And a lot of his artifacts will be sold for a high dollar price on the black market. And that is just a reality. Somebody said they compared Charlie to George Floyd. I see your comment when somebody said somebody compared Charlie to George Floyd. Yes, I cannot 100% agree with that or agree with my own thoughts at the period of time. But I do feel like that, yes, Charlie was one of the most gruesome deaths in world history. It's no video that you can pull up on YouTube or any other platform where this video is so graphic, you can't sleep at night. So if anybody's going through problems not sleeping at night, if anybody's having a a hard time, if anybody's going through it because they seen the video, I'm here and I'm with you and I'm here to answer your comments. If you ever need any assistance, we're here at Photography Plug to help you through that, because Donald Trump's friend and confidant was assassinated in a way that made John F. Kennedy's death not look as gruesome as that high pixels that Charlie, the death of Charlie, would go in biblical writing, my friends. Nothing has, as that blood poured from his vessels. My gosh, America cried when Charlie, and the people that were insensitive, they have that freedom of right to be insensitive. They have that freedom of right. I can't judge people on how they think or how they react. I didn't judge Charlie. We said Charlie was a good guy. Charlie never said the black community was good. Charlie never had positive influences on the black community. Charlie never talked about the Jews in a positive way. Charlie never did those things. But somebody just commented, neither did you. No, Charlie never did those things when he talked about the black community in a positive way. When we sit up here, we talk about how Donald Trump tried to take two pictures and start a whole race riot in Charlotte with Keith Lamont Scott was killed. Remember when Keith Lamont Scott was killed in Charlotte? So it was already a history of violence against black people in Charlotte. Go to Manhattan, New York City. Go to Beverly Hills. And when you go to these places, you will see white women on the street being violent towards black men. If you go to a grocery store in the country, everybody's going to look at a black man if he's a working person, is he stealing? Okay, so it's a certain way, and these are the subjects that Charlie had. But it's sort of reversed, because here at the Photography Club, we know that black community is the most successful because we have more people. See, Charlie never debated against me, because if Charlie would have debated against me, I would have started by saying, Charlie, no, sir, we have more people on the planet Earth. In other words, you can have $1 billion, but the money has to move. If the money doesn't move, it's not powerful. So Charlie represented something that we all have to admit is very, very important to what we all talk about, and that's the freedom of speech. Charlie was very good at freedom of speech. He was very articulate, and that is not what racism looks like. Racism looks like a European in a Ferrari that doesn't care or have the empathy to care about any issues concerning the black community. So Charlie had a lot of issues. He was talking about the black community in a negative way, but doesn't mean he didn't care. And even if he didn't care, there's no law against a person. He does not have to care. It's no law against a person that says they don't have to legally, say they don't have to legally agree with your ideas. And Charlie just did not agree with a lot of ideas. Wonderful festival tonight. Shouts out to him. And this does remind us, rest in peace to Charlie. I hope you guys are doing well. Terrible week for Donald Trump's administration. Donald Trump's administration took the biggest hit in world history. Donald Trump's administration took one of the biggest hits in world history. Donald Trump's administration took the biggest hit in world history. He will never be able to recover. What do you think? Next week, he's just going to be able to erase the fact that one of his best friends was just assassinated? Do you really think What's up, Bob?
What's going on? You out here?
Yeah, man. What's up? What you doing?
Yeah, already. Good to see you, bro. Love you, bro.
All right, dog. Yeah, but Donald Trump's administration would never be able to recover. He would never be able to recover from what happened to Charlie last week. And if you think so, you are in a fantasy world. Never in the history of this country, except for John F. Kennedy or Abraham Lincoln, that a president was shot and his partner is the problem. And his partner got popped. So I think the Republican Party is truly tricking Donald Trump's ideas. Just imagine a 45-year-old boxer. You hype him up, get back in the ring, and he get brutalized. He didn't train, did nothing. But just imagine an 80-year-old man trying to box in a boxing ring. It's the same thing with Donald Trump being hyped up by the Republican Party, being hyped like Charlie. How do you prevent these crimes from happening? And at this next curve, I'll stop and I'll be reading some of these comments, because we do read the comments here. Photography Plugged is not Rock Nation. We do read the comments. It's very good live tonight. I greatly appreciate all the support. We're up to 152,000 subscribers of people like Charlie. We keep talking about this guy that was Donald Trump's friend. And I think he was a close friend of Donald Trump, a very young person, about 50 years, some odd years younger than Trump, maybe 29 years younger than our great American 34-time convicted felon president. So thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Wonderful show tonight. We haven't been live for a while. Kind of looks like New York City down here. Jersey, even more packed because it's a little bit more smaller sidewalks. I'll be reading some of these comments. Now. Charlie lost the gun debate, and somebody just commented, Charlie lost the gun debate by a long shot. Now that was not very nice, but one of the comments was, Charlie lost the gun debate by a long shot. That is not nice. That is one of the comments, that Charlie lost the gun debate by a long shot. Let's stay positive. Let's think positive. I know a lot of people are going through and they're dealing with the video, how it hit his body in the most incredible philosophy type of way. In other words, nobody in American history or world history has ever seen a video like that. It looked like it hit a deer. So that is very sad for a gentleman that just has his own opinion. Like us, it doesn't matter who you are. We will march with you right here in our hometown at the International Civil Rights Museum. We will march with you. It doesn't matter who you are, what background you are, what group you're with. We're here with you, for you. We're for America. Or somebody just commented, Gaza is Trump land. Or somebody just commented, trying to get blacks involved. Assault weapons to protect the Second Amendment if you want to take them F off. Somebody just commented it, that we need the protection of the Second Amendment. We see your comment. Somebody said rat-tat-tat-tat, rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. That's the real niggas. So shouts out to everybody. Very, very troublesome week for the Trump administration. Donald Trump would never recover from this. If you believe that, now, if you think that Donald Trump can recover from that video, from the video of Charles. So again, tonight it is dedicated to rest in peace to Charlie. When we know that Donald Trump tried to put out a lot of that rhetoric, especially those videos of the Ukrainian woman. She unfortunately passed away. Very sad story. I think a lot of people like the Nation of Islam may step up, some good gentlemen, maybe suit and ties guys. We're going to see if we can get down there to Charlotte to make some type of difference. People doing pizza tonight. We done ate 3-4 times, but some type of difference in Charlotte, North Carolina. As far as the trains, because we know the history of the country the history of the country doesn't sound like it were no black slaves, were no Holocaust, so the reality is that the people that were abused were not white. The people that were abused in this country and are still abused in this country, like George Floyd, are black. And unfortunately in this situation with Charlie, he was white. And it's gun violence that we're talking about. You know, we need to stop white on white crime. We need to put an end to all crime, and especially those crimes like Donald Trump is actually provoking in the White House. Yeah, Donald Trump is provoking a lot of the rhetoric that goes on. And then when something happens to Charlie, because Charlie doesn't know, he doesn't have the protection of Donald Trump. So he was fooled by the Republican Party like an old boxer would be. You know how old boxers hyped up, and you hype up an old boxer. So you know when you hype up an old boxer, the Republican Party has hyped up Donald Trump to the fact the Republican Party has hyped up Donald Trump to the point of no return. And that's what happens in reality. Now, we all want to live in a perfect world. That's just not a reality. People actually own firearms. And if you say the wrong thing at the wrong place, you're at the wrong time, the Secret Service cannot protect the President of the United States so much as they possibly can. It's only, 12, 16 Secret Service. I mean, one bullet could potentially end the President of the United States of America's life. That's just a reality. I know it's hard to hear that from a black man, and you're like, well, why isn't he arrested? He could say, well, because what I'm saying is a reality, kind of like what Charlie talked about. So the President of the United States does have the possibility to be killed every single day. That is just a reality. Only in America is one of the comments. Only in America. But that's not necessarily true. A lot of other countries had presidents to be assassinated, had other people to be killed. But only in America would it be so violent. Only in America. Very good comment. School shootings, let's talk about people using each other and targeting for practice. Birmingham, Baltimore, Memphis, and Chicago. Yeah, why is the President of the United States of America not talking about these mass shootings? Why isn't he sending he's trying to send the National Guard to Memphis basically his whole plans failed. In other words, if you would have went to Chicago, Mr. President, if you would have went to Chicago and it would have been one instance on video, you unfortunately you're not really gonna have much of a country, because black people are not illegal immigrants. We're gonna fight in a different type of way, and we've proved so in the past. Cities have burnt, so we try our best to the American citizen runs the country. So the American citizen tries his best to warn the president and say, please don't do this, because your best friend is about to be popped. And unfortunately, everybody knew about it except Donald Trump. It was the talk around town in Utah that something was going to happen. And it did happen, with Charlie being shot in the neck. And as he was shot, the blood out of his neck went so very far. That was an artery that was hit when Charlie was hit, and they said that life-saving measures. Me and you both know that as soon as that bullet hit Charlie, he was already dead on arrival. Nice, very nice black car out here tonight. Kind of represents that 57 era of American muscle car. Yeah, I know you said, well, we talk about Charlie's death on the same breath as an American muscle car. I think Charlie represented America very well, just like that black Cadillac. But it was a time where black people could not own Cadillacs. They had to get a white cosigner. So just like what Donald Trump tried to do with the pictures, it just didn't work. It failed. It backfired. Donald Trump's administration would never recover. It's nothing that he can do legitimately now that his best friend was on video. Now, if it didn't happen on video, he would have had a chance. But they're going to look back at this administration and say this was the bloodiest administration in history. And many people are blaming the Democrats because this individual called Charlie a fascist, and he engraved it on the bullets. And in my opinion, that was a lucky shot, and it hit dead target. It was very sad, unfortunately. If you're a mega brother, you need to value Make America. Somebody just commented, Make America Great Again. I think Charlie would have loved that comment. Great comment, Make America Great Again. You guys keep up the great work over there at the White House. You're doing an absolutely wonderful job. I think that you're doing an absolutely wonderful job. But unfortunately, what you're doing is, you see it all over the news. You see what happened. You Make America Great Again. You can keep it up. And unfortunately, it's not just going to be a good result. So I support you guys. I hope you do well. But unfortunately, this is probably one of the worst administrations in world history. This is the epitome of terrible. Your best friend, as the President of the United States of America, gets his whole neck blown off. Your best friend. Honestly, your best friend gets his whole head blown off in front of the United States, in front of the whole entire world. Guys, that don't look good for Trump. He's not gonna, no policy would change the video fact, that the video evidence, no policy could ever change that. So welcome, a lot of music out here tonight. This is like a band or something. So it looks like it's pretty cool. We'll check it out, see what's going on. But shouts out to everybody. Hope everybody's having a wonderful night. You tune into the Photography Plug, and this is home for me. Shouts out to all my homies. That was one of my homies I seen back there. We're gonna see if we can cross over real quick, see what's going on. A lot of people are out tonight. It's a lot of celebrating going on in America tonight. It's a good, fun night to be out. So this is incredible vibes out here. Incredible vibes. Incredible. Nice food out here. The livest one, like I'm from Bedford-Stuyvesant, one of the realest. Straight from the Ave, straight from Phillips. Straight from the Ave, straight from Phillips. It's a photography plug. Rest in peace to Charlie. Black people, we're gonna party for you tonight. Rest in peace to a great American citizen, Charlie Kirk. All jokes aside, a great American citizen that was one of us. We're gonna party tonight. So shouts out to everybody that's living a good life tonight. Shouts out to our great American president, Donald Trump. And shouts out to my hometown, OGB Cooler. Shouts out to English Street, Phillips Avenue. My dogs. This is how black people do it, Charlie. We do it for you, man. We do it for you. We'll have to back up a little bit, that copyright music a little bit, but shouts out. Nice vibes out here tonight. City vibes, baby, city vibes. Black love out here, black love. We're still living life out here, guys. That's right, black love. So don't get too caught up in politics. Don't get too caught up in politics. Rest in peace, Charlie. I see one of the comments. Rest in peace, Charlie. This is how we represent. A nice feed tonight. Very great vibes tonight. R.I.P. Charlie. We celebrating for you, man. Another level. You're in heaven now. We represent the best. The love for the people. We're gonna send this over to Donald Trump. Let him know that the black people are not worried about you. We're having fun in America. There's nothing you can do to separate us. We're having fun in America. Our great American president failed this week. And black people are still alive and well and doing well. We apologize to our great American president. He loses again. Rest in peace, Charlie. Rest in peace, Charlie. He's a great American citizen. He talked about freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is so very great American. So very important, freedom of speech. He gonna play copyright music all night. We're gonna try to go to another section. They got the pretty ladies up there, but he playing copyright music all night. They're gonna strike us down for that. R.P. Charlie. This whole event's for Charlie, baby. All for Charlie. Black love. Food smells incredible, incredible. That's why I say don't worry about too much of the debates. Make sure you walk away with your life and you don't end up like Donald Trump's best friend, Charlie. We don't want anything like that to happen to you. You have to give people some room to breathe. You have to give people some type of respect. You don't have to, but unfortunately, when you just talk the way you feel, when you just talk the way you feel, then it can offend people, and people can get on top of a roof and they can grab a rifle. Unfortunately, we want people to learn. That's what black media is about. You know, the news usually tells you, or the next on news, they're not giving you advice to why it happened. Very nice feed tonight. Shouts out to all the supporters. A lot of nice cars and stuff out here too. Very nice feed tonight. We had an absolutely great live tonight. I greatly appreciate everybody going live. We'll probably go back live tomorrow and have a real good discussion about Charlie and how we can prevent crimes like this from happening in our great country. I think having talks like Charlie would talk about the black community, I think Charlie was trying to relay a message to the black community that maybe he thought that he was protected by the Secret Service. Donald Trump was a little bit too late for Charlie, or Charlie will be alive today. If you have a close friend that's the president of the United States of America and you're throwing out Trump hats, your life, unfortunately, and that's just a reality. I hate to say it. A lot of times the Federal Bureau will sit here and write down everything I have to say. Reason being, unbeknownst, the black men are betrayed, even social media lights, as criminals. And Charlie did talk about that. He said that all black people were criminals. So if we agreed with Charlie, then what would we be saying? If we agree with everything Charlie said, we're probably agreeing with black people still being slaves, and that's just not true. We know black people in this country represent some of the most successful people in the world, even with basketball players and athletes and singers and educators and influencers. Black people has represented this country very well. Unbeknownst to our great American 34-time convicted felon president, Charlie was misled. He was on the wrong side for himself. Now maybe Charlie thought Donald Trump could help him, but everybody, it was the rumor around campus that something was going to happen, and everybody knew except the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Everybody knew except Donald Trump's administration. So a lot of people, oh, look at this. First hand. This for Charlie. R.I.P. Charlie. Oh.
Banging and she's clinging, skipping and she's moving like the love that we had.
R.P. Charlie.
Now you're begging and you're pleading, you're crying and crying, you're
Yeehaw.
saying, baby, please don't leave me. All I ever need.
Yeehaw. Rest in peace, Charlie. That's right. We still have respect for the other side. If Charlie was the other side, I think he was one of us by saying he talked tough topics and he was just a good person. Charlie was so much just a good person, talked about good things. He always talked positive about the black community, the best he knew how. Now, maybe we didn't hear it correctly, but I'm sure he might have thought that he was close to the President of the United States of America, that he was untouchable. Unfortunately, if he would have read the news lines that our great American president was already shot, not even a year ago, fortunately, Charlie didn't get the memo that this young gentleman that drives a Challenger, and you know those people that drive Challengers, you better watch out for those guys, those SXTs, and not necessarily the Hellcats. It seems like the guys that drive those SXTs and those Porsche engine, that's what's in those Challengers. That 3.6 is actually a Porsche engine. You better watch out for those guys. I guess the insurance probably went up after Charlie's death. Well, too bad for Charlie. Very sad and tragic. And literally, I'm crying right now about Charlie. So, you know, that's just how it works when you have a president that provokes crime and thinks that he's untouchable and his staff members are untouchable. If you throw out a Make America Great Again hat, you better be careful out there. Nobody has seen that ever in history. I'm talking about nobody has seen a horrific death like that ever in American history. It's never, I'm talking about never in American history has a person been shot in that terrible way that Charlie was. And I think all Americans should take a step back and watch what they say and be very careful and vigilant, because maybe you can say some things to get away with it, but maybe what Donald Trump is doing caused the death of Charlie Kirk, and now he's like his kids don't have a father, and they were there when it happened. So many people are disturbed of what happened in that video. Some people are shocked. I'm personally not. The information was out there. Federal Bureau of Investigations didn't look into the right places. They didn't have the right personnel. They didn't do the right things. If they did, they would have knew that the rifle was already in the bushes. It was obvious that the rumor around the campus and a few homes in Utah is that an American citizen had plots and plans to do something to Charlie. And great American president just did nothing. He had the information possibly on his desk and did nothing at all. And Charlie was just out there like a sheep or a lamb. And unfortunately, Charlie lost his life for a little bit of nothing. I mean, now the money doesn't matter. Now the cars don't matter. Now the things just don't matter. It doesn't matter now because he's no longer, unfortunately. It's a bad and terrible situation. Donald Trump will not recover from this situation because it's a video that's going around, a shocking video of the death of Charlie being executed. It's interesting how the college felt no security was needed. The college, Charlie agreed, then students, audience asked what the thoughts of the shooting. So somebody said that the college should have provided more. Unfortunately, when you say certain things about certain people, if you talk about their mothers or grandmothers and if you're real personal with people, even when we piss people off, we barely try to. But when we do, we do it in a way where we're not talking about your mother or your grandmother or your ancestors. So when you talk about people's ancestors, things like this apparently happened because it did happen. This is a reality and a sad fact of the matter. You cannot just spew what you want to, even if it's ignorance. Like Charlie, most of Charlie's ideas were one of an imbecile and a possible, pretty much a kind of like a. It's my dog right there. One of my dogs. Shouts out to him. You know, a possible idea. So, you know, always keep that in mind when you're talking about, you know, building your company or building your ideas, that you can have rhetoric that's edgy. And us at Photography Plug, guys, we try to do the same thing. And the same thing, we have to tune it down ourselves. We have to be careful about what we say. It's not just Charlie. It's other people that learn from this and say, watch the President of the United States of America. He's sending people. Watch the President of the United States of America. He's sending people to their deathbed, literally. What's up, cutie? What's up, babe? Excuse me. Have a good night, man. But yeah, you have to keep that in mind. So make sure that you guys keep that in mind when you come up with ideas or different ideas of, you know, whatever business you're starting, you're debating with somebody, you're arguing with somebody, you're at a college campus. Whatever the situation is, it's not worth pissing off somebody to the fact that they're going to try to hurt you in some type of way. So that's good to always keep in mind, to tune it down if you want to survive. And I think Charlie didn't know how to tune it down. He didn't know finesse. He was only 31 years old. He didn't know the finesse of the game. I think Donald Trump finessed Charlie out his own life. He tricked him. And this is probably a warning to all of the Republican Party and the people that's throwing out, you know, different hats of different sorts of whatever it may be. I think that don't be tricked by our great American president. He is convicted 34 different times. So be very vigilant if you are a Republican, because this same thing can happen to you. You said to be quiet about the negative Trump talk. May we not speak our mind? Oh, well, you can speak your mind, of course, but most platforms we can't speak our mind because they demonetized us months and months ago, and they're demonetized us again, and then they hope we don't have a voice. So, you know, platforms like this, and obviously Charlie represented this American flag very well by that freedom of speech. And it's just sad. It's very, very sad that you can't have those type of conversations. And it's sad for somebody to think that if you talk about somebody's mama or grandmama, now you're probably taking it a little bit too far. So always keep that in mind, guys, when you're having these arguments, whether you're in the U.S. Army or you're in the Bloods or Crips, you're part of a gang. That is just a reality. And whether you're Republican or you're Democrat, that red and blue stands for two gangs. So that is just a reality. It stands for two, in my opinion. If it was a very intelligent person one time said a very important quote. Al Capone said, "I come from a rough neighborhood. And you can get a lot farther with a kind word and a gun than you can with just a kind word. Guys, I'm going to end on that tonight. Very nice live. We'll go back live again tomorrow. Remember that Al Capone quote? He started press. That very important Al Capone, that very important John Gotti, that very important Donald Trump, that very important Charlie Kirk, that very important Reginald Lewis, that very important Ahmad PA, that very important person, whoever that person may be, is very important to this great American citizenship. And as we see a slave owner still as a statue to represent this city while kids walk around, this is a message to people who think that the black community has lost. You're wrong. Black and African people inhabit this earth multi-million times more than you, meaning we have more people. In other words, the Charlie rhetoric will only get you one thing, what Charlie got. And we don't want anything to happen to anybody here at Photography Plug. But the message to the President of the United States of America tonight, if you don't want to be shot again, then stop the rhetoric against the black community, because it can happen. And it is chatter that New York City will be one of the next cities attacked by, unbeknownst, those chitter chatters. Now, this is an entertainment page. Anything that you hear can be true or may be false. It's not all 100% true or factual base. This is an entertainment page, and you have been entertained tonight by one of the most influential individuals in American and world history, the Photography Plug. Good night, beautiful people. It's been a wonderful night. Thank you to my fan base. Thank you to my friends. Rest in peace to Charlie. Rest up, my brother. You've done a wonderful job. We're here for you. We're here for your fans. We're here for your friends. And we just like to say, Charlie, you did the best you can do, and you keep up that great work in heaven. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you to the fans. We'll be back live again shortly.